And Miranda.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Chris. Hi, welcome. And welcome to San Diego. This is really a treat. So as I said, I have the privilege with some other community members of previewing films. This one just blew me away. And watching, this is my first time to see it on the big screen because we have the privilege of watching these films in the privacy of our own home. What I was struck by this time, and I will give you guys a turn to ask questions, but I was struck by the fact that this film is not for a beginner filmmaker. The gorgeous cinematography, the depth of information, the research, the soundtrack, and the narrative that you put together in a very concise way at 53 minutes was absolutely unbelievably top-notch. And I just know that this came after, this is like got to be the pinnacle of your career. So I would love to know, and for you to tell us a bit of your background, how you found, we love children up here. So
yes.
This is all good.
Okay.
I'd like to pass the mic to you, and please tell us where you come from and how this happens. It was brilliant, and I see a lot of films, so this was brilliant.
Thank you, my goodness. I have to say that I don't get to see it on the big screen very often.
It looks so beautiful. I was crying.
It's so nice to see it with all of you. Thanks for coming. So we shot that in 10 days.
Wow. Unbelievable.
It was, and this is just a testament to the power of women filmmakers. So I went to Mustang with Miranda. She field produced. We had a local filmmaker, Dipendra, who also helped me shoot, and he was able to get into some of the, in the area with the prints. I, as a woman, wasn't allowed to go in there. And then we had 2 assistants who were translators, so that was it. And we carried our gear across rivers. There was flood. I mean, it was.
I have to go. I'm sorry.
I'm still amazed. I sat there and watched this today and go, how did we do that?
What kind of research did you do to prepare for this? And who was the professor?
Dr. Sienna Craig. And actually, she's written an amazing book called Horses Like Lightning, which I recommend you read if you're interested in that region. She spent time up there. Anyway, so I was making, this is the 3rd film that we've made in Nepal together, documentary. I was reading about this region randomly in a bookshop. I opened a book of watercolors, and I'd never heard anything about Mustang. I didn't know, and it just opened this whole door, this whole window into that world. I read Sienna's book. I also read Mikhail Dunham's book, which is called Buddha's Warriors, which is about that region and that amazing story of the CIA. So we decided we were going to go and spend 10 days there and I didn't know anybody. We went and were like, okay, we're here. We have headaches. It's high altitude.
Well, we didn't get there.
Well, it took us. Yeah, there's a whole other story about getting there. Just the journey to get there was nuts.
There's a YouTube.
There's a YouTube video of it.
Yeah.
There's 2 portions of it, but it's Journey to Mustang Dispatches. Just Google it.
Yeah.
Or YouTube search it.
I think we took 24 different vehicles at one point, or like including a tractor and a horse. And
We took a tractor with all our camera gear.
So I got lost track. I was so overexcited there. What was the question?
Oh, I was just wondering about the background to the film because it is such a perfect storm of photography, soundtrack, narrative. The history that you had to have known before entering into even having the idea to do this film.
Well, I did a lot of research before I went, but a lot of it came after talking to people there. I mean, I'm a horsewoman myself, and I've made a lot of horse-related films. So I think the amazing thing for me was that when you start to talk to other people who truly have that horse as part of their lives and their heart, they see that even though we didn't speak the same language. And so a lot of the research came after that experience, you know, and so the footage that you saw of the Dalai Lama, I mean, I dug that out of the archives. I actually had a reel of footage converted, and I had a suspicion that that footage was on there, and I didn't know. When I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, this has to has to go in the film. So
Where has the film been and where's the film going? Because this just must be seen by many people.
well, if you are Amazon Prime members, you can actually see this film
Okay.
on Amazon Prime. It has done a festival run. It's
And won a few awards.
I won a few awards here and there. So
Okay.
I'm just so happy that it got programmed here, and I really thank you and the festival for that.
Well, what we're trying to do is bring horse and equestrian films to San Diego. We have I have a horse, and I think many of our patrons do, but the festival, as I said, tries to reflect the interests of the community, and I don't really know of any other film festivals who operate with this as a skeleton structure. So we have 5 specialty tracks in addition to kind of the Hollywood previews. And one of these tracks is the equestrian track. And when you're in the horse community, you know where they are. But so this is a huge, I think it's the second largest horse community, maybe outside of Kentucky. And it's because of our weather and terrain. And there are just thousands of horses, and then big time horse shows. We've got some Olympic horses that live here, but if you're not in the world, you don't know. So in respect to this as a reflection of San Diego, Tanya Mantooth and the festival thought it was a smart business and to bring horse films to San Diego, and I have to agree.
Well, it's not, and for me, I very much, I mean, my father saw this horse, he's not a horseman. He said, but there's so much
So
more to
far
the
beyond
story.
that.
It's about, as you all know, humankind, the debt that we owe them. But this story was into history,
Absolutely.
all
It exceeded.
kinds of areas where the horse is kind of the central hub of the story. So.
And their care and their love for their animals just was repeated again and again and again. Questions from the community. I don't want to hog the mic here. Miranda, do you already want to move ahead? Do you want to tell us what you're working on now? We'd love to know, where it's a treat for us to have you here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just give you a little bit of backstory, because the reason Sophie was in Nepal is because I dragged her there because I had an idea about a different film, which is called Daughters of the Curved Moon. Unlike Talking to the Air, which took Sophie 1 year from shooting, a year and a half, from shooting to premiere, Daughters of the Curved Moon was a extended labor of love. From Jumla, which is a region of Nepal in the far west, or west actually. And it's about it's about a village and women in that village, and it sort of tells the story of different people's lives, but it's really a reflection on the culture and the traditions that are dying, and some remarkable young lady who's from this village, but decides not to buy into the culture. We started making that film, and maybe look, we started making that. I don't think we started making that film, shooting it in 2011, and we did multiple shoots in Nepal. So Sophie kept having to come back, and we're an independent documentary film company, so that means
We have
no money. So, we're like air miles, or like piggybacking off a job she got in Doha, or you name it. My parents. And while I was laboring through all the footage of the first 3 shoots, Sophie came up with the idea for Talking to the Air. And so the 4th shoot for Daughters of the Curved Moon, we did back-to-back Talking to the Air and Daughters of the Curved Moon on some, in a 6, 7, 8 week. So that was it, and then we finished that. So we both finished shooting both films. A year later, Talking to the Air premieres at KIMF, the Kathmandu International Mountain Film Festival. Daughters of the Curved Moon still going. I think we were 3 to 5 years in post-production. It took another couple of years for that film to premiere at KIMF, but then the following year, we premiered Pink Tiffany, which is about the transgender community in Kathmandu. Kind of different from the other 2, but again, based in Nepal, which at that point is where I was living. And Sophie's an addict. She's probably been 10, 15 times. And we have some Nepali friends here as well.
Welcome to the festival.
These are some folks that didn't have to watch the subtitles.
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
And I forgot what I was saying.
So, documentary films in Nepal. I've been making many horse-related films, documentaries about rare breeds and vanishing equine cultures. And I'll talk to you about some of those.
She has some amazing films, and most of them are shorter.
I have been on her website.
I have a question. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you say something more about the films that you are making, the equine films?
I will direct you
And
to.
where are you based?
I'm based in Los Angeles, actually. So what we have. This is
Horsefly Films.
Horsefly Films.
Check
It's
out the
actually
website.
rareequinetrust.com is where you can see all of the other films, including this. So coming up, we've got a film about the white horses in Camarillo, which is a local story. And I also shot 3 years ago a film in Kyrgyzstan about the nomadic horse culture there, which I'm trying to get finished up still. It's been a long, we do everything ourselves. We wear all the hats. We shoot, we edit, we write, we try and get distribution for our films. So,
The narrative on this film, it had a lot of information, but I must say it was very well paced and almost poetic. It really was. It really was. I think you spent a lot of time structuring this and letting us follow along on your journey. It was really well done.
thank you. It was an incredible journey for me. I feel privileged to have been to that place and been with those people, and sharing that story with people
And the
means a lot.
colors. Oh, so I do have to ask, do you have any souvenirs?
Actually,
The colors are beautiful. I want a riding.
I know the blankets.
Blankets.
I brought back the bells, this sound that I just, these horses wear, these incredible sets of bells I brought back in my luggage, which was jangling the whole way back to Los Angeles, but that was a nice souvenir.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, thank you. Go ahead.
The horses that were being used in Mustang, were they barefoot?
Yes. They've got pretty hardy hoofs, and they live, so there's not really much opportunity for or availability of any kind of, and they really don't need it. I think the army horse that you saw in there was shod, but mostly not.
Do they have a veterinarian at the races? Is that advanced technology?
Yeah, that's pretty. Actually, one of the things I didn't talk about, there are still some very traditional ways of treating horses, which for us in this modern age are kind of a little, maybe I would say, uncomfortable. And there's also a lack of knowledge about, the things that we would consider. One of the characters that you saw in the film there said to me, very seriously, he said, now your horses in the West, they're very big. He said, do you feed them meat? This is, this is an extremely remote part of the world and quite medieval in many ways. So, yeah, it's different.
I was just wondering if you could clarify. There was one line as you kind of went to different villages or areas, and you said this just recently opened up to the world, and I wasn't quite sure where I was.
I think it was maybe 1998 that Mustang became open to foreigners.
It was closed for tourism, and even now it costs $500 to go there for 10 days for anyone who's not Nepali. Mustang, it's a district of Nepal. If you look at the map of Nepal, Mustang is like a little nubule that goes up into Tibet, or what they now call China, the Tibetan plateau. And so Mustang is surrounded on 3 sides by Tibet, China. And it used to be closed. It was its own kingdom before, and now it's...
I thought maybe it was just that one little area, but it was the whole of...
Yeah, Lower Mustang and Upper Mustang, I think until I think it was until '98, it was actually just almost impossible as an outsider to get